How tall are the giants? Now, there's going to be a speech about natural philosophy, and that is what the avid Greek philosophers of the past were so enthusiastic about. Now, natural philosophy is really the idea or nomenclature for science, as we call it now, and it included philosophy, calculus, and mathematics. And that popular phrase, standing on the shoulders of giants, comes from Isaac Newton. And the exact quote is, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." Now, this is Isaac Newton we're talking about. We consider him a giant in our understanding of calculus and other physics today. But originally, he stated that it was because of those before him that he was able to see so much further and give us such a great vantage point to where we are now and how much this calculus helps us today. So, I've been a student of calculus since the beginning of the semester. Not very long, but I've been an avid enthusiast and student of the sciences my whole life. And I'm going to showcase 3 different parts of calculus that really interested me and that I believe can truly help change your perspective on it as well, and hopefully encourage you to learn it as well. So, the 3 points I'm going to share are points established by Morris Klein, and he states these about mathematics. He says, "The universe is ordered according to perfect mathematical laws." And 2, divine reason is the order. And 3, human reason can discern the divine math pattern. So, in explaining the first point, that the universe is ordered according to perfect mathematical laws, I would like to start off with a story about Thales. And Thales was born about 600 BC. He's a Greek. And he was trying to solve why things changed the way they did. Because he could observe it in nature, like a tree will grow, and it's somewhat ordered change. But in another way, it's also seemingly chaotic and random. It's like the trees don't form the same way, yet they all have limbs. The trees don't grow at the same speed, yet they all started as sapling. So he's trying to set an order to which parts of the change have an order and which don't, or maybe are harder to discern. And so his theory for this is that everything is water. He coins it, all is water. Now, we know everything's not made of water, even though a lot is, but he put a lot of passengers on the right train of thought to discovering really what does change everything. Jenna, what do you think changes everything? Like, why do you think, what's the common factor in everything that allows it to change? No ideas. Well, Aristotle had many ideas. One of them was all is number. So he says, I'm not going to quantify things by a physical object. I'm going to quantify them by a more philosophical aspect. And that allowed him to really grow into that figure we know him as today, who quantified so much. And though he did some inaccurately, like his law of free fall, he really set the ball rolling and was one of those giants that Isaac Newton was able to stand on, whose ideas paved the foundation to him creating calculus. So, for main point number 2, which is the fact that divine reason is the order. Now that may be a name for God. The Greeks had gods at the time, as Christ had not come yet. So, couldn't call him Christian, like we have a lot of Christian scientists today, many modern ones such as Morris Klein and Isaac Newton, but back in the day it's not what they were called. So, Plato is one of the main guys on the scene, and after he's kind of also figuring out that nature is mathematically organized, he has this theory that maybe everything is mathematically organized, and specifically so that it's simple for us to understand. And who would do that besides a divine order? Because if there's no reason for order, what justification would there be for order such as that? And so his theory is that all things have what he calls a form. So the form is what the perfect idea behind it is. We can say one, or a circle, a perfect spherical circle, but anything we create, even on a computer, isn't exactly perfect. Even though it's close and perfect according to our discernment, it's not perfect. But he says, somewhere out there in the sky, in, in another world, is the perfect form which we model it after. And so, the theory of the forms, and that divine reason orders them. And we basically just have a bunch of copycats on this earth that we get to observe of the original form. Lots of casts. The third point is human reason can discern the divine math pattern. And this goes very well with what we've learned so far from Aristotle, Thales, and Plato, that the universe is very user-friendly. We can attach a lot of numbers, we can quantify a lot of things. And a very cool example I found of someone quantifying something with numbers first is actually Pythagoras with music. And they had a lot of different musical instruments back in the ancient Greece times, and many of them were very important to their society and their lives. And so he was plucking strings one day, and he decided he wanted to figure out the ratio of like what really sounded good. He was trying to find harmonies, and he discovers an octave, which in music is the same note one pitch higher. So he discovered if he takes a string and let's say he stops it halfway and then he plucks it, it is now exactly one octave higher of the same note. It's a perfect 2-to-1 ratio. It didn't have to be ordered that way. It didn't have to be so perfectly easy to use and understand and comprehend. It could have been some wild number, but it's just half, which is so perfect and more evidence that someone definitely organized it and made it really simple for us to use. So, in conclusion, humankind has come a long way with understanding calculus and understanding the motion of the universe. And motion in Greek just means change. So by understanding change, we are better able to implement these things into our lives. We're able to learn so much more, such as why music is mathematical, instances like that. So I'd like to close with another quote from Morris Klein, who says, "The calculus has proved to be the richest lode that mathematics has ever struck." Thank you for listening. Bye.